Hi, and welcome to the latest note of Animate. I just wanted to show you some stuff that I stole. I stole some James Bond pictures, and what I did is I just came to this, did a Google search, went to images, and then I right-clicked right there and went Save Image As. And then I noticed once again that Idris Elba is back in the discussion for James Bond, and I think he'd make an awesome one, so I actually took his picture too. So what we're going to be talking about is Note 4, and we'll be doing some different tweens and some cool stuff with that. Well, I want to show you what I've got so far. I've just put a standard, very boring tween, so I'm going to hit my play right there, or I could have hit enter. So let me do that again. Ding, 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 ding. Ah, no, not quite yet. So now what I want to do is I am going to get rid of that for now, and I'm going to come in here and I am going to File, Import to Stage, and then I'm going to find Idris Elba. I already did it once, so I'm just going to go ahead and replace it. Now I knew he was a big actor, but I didn't realize how big of an actor he was. Actually, what happened was the image is way too big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here, make sure this padlock is locked, and then for width, I'm going to make it like 1000, and then hit enter. And by having it locked, it will keep it proportional. And there I've got Idris. And I'm going to stick him right in the middle. Now you notice you got the black outline. That's telling me what the actual stage was. So if I went and did control test, now I made a silly mistake, and I just caught it right now. And part of that problem is I don't like the new way they do timelines when it comes to this. Oh. So I actually had it there. I'm going to click up here for an F5. Extend it out. And I'm going to clear the keyframe. Back in the old days, it would automatically gone to all the way to the left, but nowadays it's not. Right there. And then Control V. Oops. Let's try that import again. File import to stage. Come on back to Idris. Yeah, I already did that before, so let's just replace existing items. Click on OK. Now I'm going to drag it back. There's Idris. I'm going to make sure I lock it. I'm going to put it at 1000. And then I'm going to bring it back here. Now I know it's for fact on the first. There we go. I don't want that. Clear that keyframe. I don't know where that came from. There we go. So I should have Idris Elba the whole time, so I'm just going to hit enter. There we go. Now I'm going to bring back this, and I'm going to lock that, and then I am going to do something slightly different. I'm going to come back to this layer. Oh, I should name it properly. I'm going to call it Bond. I could also call it Idris. Hopefully I'm not jinxing him by doing this, but if I do, I do. And I'm going to come all the way back here by clicking that to the farthest left keyframe. And then I right click up here and it says mask. Now I'm going to hit enter. Watch what happens. Dun, 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 dun. Oh man, that's too fast. But if I wanted to spend a lot of time with it, it just kind of bugs me a little bit. Normally I would have more bouncing around here. You know, and I can hit F5 and give myself some spacing. But that's how to do a mask. It's real simple. You just have the item that you want masked as bottom layer, and then the device that you want to use to mask it which in this case is this green oval. And the cool thing about it is it could have been a black oval, it could have been a purple oval, it doesn't really matter. It's going to be the mask device, and so it just follows the path that there. So I'm just going to drag the slide head right there. See, there we go, as the device. So hopefully that's a good luck wish for Idris Elba for him being James Bond. So I'm going to go File, Save, and then I'm going to close that. Now I've got this from last week, where I played around with, oops, didn't mean to do, oh, I'm kind of glad I accidentally did that. This is my point where it's a rotation point. Notice how I'm rotating it around. That's the point it's going to rotate around. There we go. Now he's back to rotating, or she's back to rotating around that point. I am notorious for accidentally clicking on that little thing and dragging it way over here, and then wondering why it's not behaving the way I want to. But I thought that was always kind of cool that you could do that. So there you are, Woodstock. Let's get back right here. Voila. So now, I had created him as a symbol, and I wanted to show you something about the library. I click right up here, and this is my Snoopy. That's Snoopy by himself, PNG. This is Woodstock. So if I wanted to, I could come back over here, Snoopy by himself. I could go Modify, Convert to Symbol. And then I don't want it to be a button, but I want it to be a graphic. And I'll explain the differences in that later. And I don't want to call him Symbol 1, but I'm going to call him Snoopy. And then obviously this other one, he's a symbol 2. And then I can go Modify, Convert to Symbol. And he's actually Joe Cool. There we go. So now I've got a bunch of symbols. Well, please note that I have this open. Oh, and that little star says I haven't saved it, so I'm going to do Control S to just save what I've done. So that's Snoopy. That's my other layer, Woodstock. And the reason I'm showing you this is because I am going to have some fun. So I'm going to go File, New. I'm going to use the default setting right there. But I just spent a lot of time converting all those symbols. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go Snoopy. And then there's Joe Cool as the symbol. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click right there and I'm just going to go Joe. He's going to be my Joe layer, and I am going to drag Joe Cool right down there. Now the nice thing about having a symbol, this graphic is X amount of kilobytes in size. If I was not to have a symbol and just keep doing bitmap after bitmap, the file size is going to get pretty large pretty fast, but the symbol has a little bit lower overhead, as I like to say it. You're still doing the same image, but it knows to just duplicate that image. So now I'm going to go, I don't think I'm going to do Snoopy. I'm just going to go grab Woodstock right there and drag him over here. Now I don't want him to be on the same layer, so I wasn't paying attention, so I'm going to do a Control X. And then I'm going to come down here, add a new layer, and do a Control V, and just paste it. Now if I ever wanted to change it, I accidentally double click, so it was kind of cool that I did that. I'm in edit mode, and I cannot see that to save my life. I click over there. That's another one of those changes that's like, why did you break something that was working fine? I like the fact that it gives you more info, but it is not easy to see. So now I've got Woodstock. And I probably want to have Joe Cool be way over here, and I have Woodstock be somewhere over here. And then I'm just going to, utilizing my timeline, I'm going to come over, let's just drag it, 180, what the hey. I'm going to hit F5. So in other words, I just created 380 frames. There are about 10 seconds of animation. Oh, more than that. Almost 20 seconds of animation. Now, the nice thing about what I'm going to do next is I am going to click right there. I'm going to hit F6, which adds a keyframe. And then I am going to leave it there, and I'm going to create a classic tween. Now the reason I'm doing this is what we're going to do next is a different type of tweening. So I'm going to right click here, and I'm going to go Add Classic Motion Guide. And what it's done now is it's added another layer on top of it, which is a motion guide. And notice I've got these little dots. So that's saying, hey John, we can modify it. Now I'm using the default for essentials. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click right here and make sure I'm on this layer, because I always, oh, you know what, I hate when it's this new slider. So I'm going to click and I'm going to go wee, because Woodstock never flies anywhere very easily. Now I'm going to come all the way back to, come on, let's make this a little bit bigger. Oh, rats, I drew it on the wrong layer. I knew that was too easy. Click right here. These are some really cool mistakes to make. Hopefully you make as many as I do. Oh man, I practiced it, it went perfect, of course. So now what it's done is it should have snapped it to this, and I think it did. There we go, the little circle right there is on that line. Doesn't have to be at the beginning. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to drag Woodstock. Oh, let's drag him up here. Now watch what happens. If I did it right, and I might not have. Yeah, it did. It followed the path that I drew. And forever and ever and ever, let's hit stop. There we go, and there we go. So that's the motion path. And then if you really don't want to see that, which is pretty understandable, I can just click that off, and then it won't show up if I, well, let's leave it on for grins, and let's go, I'll save, and I'm going to call it motion dash classic. Hit save. Save it as an FLA, and then I'm going to do control test, see what it looks like. Oh, I love it. Now you notice it's not looping. The reason it didn't loop was the last time I did that for the note before, what I'd done is I went into publish settings. Ooh, shouldn't have. Oh, you know what it is? It's so long that it'll look that way. I should have taken off the loop timeline. I thought I did. Well, here we hit publish, and now that will go away. But also the main thing that I wanted you to realize is, let's go control test. Yeah, so it would have looped. It's just so long. Otherwise, it's 10 seconds, and you'd be amazed how long 10 seconds is. Now let's jump back here. Oh, nope, that's the one I want to keep. Timeline. I'm going to lock. And then I'm going to turn it off so you don't see it. I could have done an outline, but that's silly because it's just a lighter version of it. Now I'm going to do, oh, there we go. Now I'm going to do Joe Cool. And what I can do is I'm going to say, let's just do it the way I'm going to right click. You notice I didn't put any other keyframes in. And I'm going to do create motion tween. And if you can tell, I'm mildly colorblind, so I'm having trouble seeing some of these colors. But this seems to be the motion tween color. And then I'm going to click right about here. There you can see it a little bit better. And I am going to drag like that. And then I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to click, drag it. Now, there we go. So let's see what happens. Oops, want to go back the other way. Stop. Hit enter. Now, I'm going to come over here and change it just a little bit right there. I'm going to click on that one. I'm going to use my transform tool, and I'm going to give it the illusion that he's kind of walking away. Or, you know, I could take him all the way off too. That'd be cool. Let's go to the next one that way. And I can make him bigger again. Right here, there. And let's hit play. Back, back, back. Now, one of the things you can't really tell with this motion tween, and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger here, and I'm going to center it. There we go. Is I'm going to double click on this, and I can change the X and Y. I can change the scale. So I can actually change it here. So I'm going to come back over here and go, got to be on that X. Now I'm going to change the X coordinate. Where I can drag them down. And drag them way off the screen. Same way with the transform. I'm changing the scale. Oop, gotta find him first. Snoopy, where'd you go? He's way over there. Make him a little bit bigger. Come on, be nice. There we go. I really am not the biggest fan of this, although you can get pretty precise. Now let me go back to center that and go 100. Now I'm having a little bit of an interesting problem because when I did this earlier it gave me the dotted lines like it's supposed to, and I'll show you what I mean in a bit. I'm going to just, that's how you can come in here. You can go transform, you can modify it, X, Y, utilizing those. But I'm going to close this and see what happens because it should have, oh yes, there we go. Oh, yeah. Ah, well, this is an example of what it is. These are the dotted lines that you should have for the tween, and it's really interesting. Let me grab that and drag it all the way over here. So I'm going to just do File, New. Now I'm going to hit Medium. I'm going to keep Snoopy there, so I'm going to go Library. Snoopy Fun. I'm going to steal Woodstock. And then I'm just going to close everything else. There we go. I'm going to keep him open just to be safe. Because if it don't work, I'll show it to you that way. So now I've got... Oh, I wonder if it was just too long for it to deal. That could be. I'm going to click an F5 right there. Gives me some playing room. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, create a motion tween. And then I'm going to come all the way over here and I'm going to click and drag it. Oh, I wonder if that's what it was. It is so light that I can barely see that. Let me come up here. Now, I'm sorry, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. Let me see if I can get Edit Preferences. Edit Preferences. Let's see. Let's find Code Editor. No. Compiler. No. Text. No. Drawing. Maybe. Normal, correct lines, recognize lines. Nope. Let's see if I can make that a little bit brighter too. Well, this is one of the nice things you can. No. That's terrible. I can't even see that. You know what I might try? Let me try something that might be able to you might be able to see a little bit better. Let's put a nah, we don't want black. Could be green. Let's see if that'll show up a little bit better. Wait a minute, what happened to my... There we go. Now, nope, still can't see it. That is weird. Why did you do that, Adobe? Let's just turn this off. Let's come up here. Yeah, it's there, but I can't see it. Ay. Well, what's nice is you can come in here and you can change it. There is a very, very thin line there. And if you notice, there is some little dots, and these dots will pop up. They will tell you the spacing between the keyframes. And then the nice thing is I can just make it any shape I want. And then if I really want to have some fun with it, I can come over here and click on the transform tool, and I can change that too. And it will change the path that it goes. I can also rotate it a little bit like that. Spread it out like that. Wow, I'm sorry. I don't know if this is going to show up or not, but that's pretty bizarre. Usually it's a lot more pronounced than that, and it's just kind of disappointing. But that's motion tween. It's a lot more powerful, and like I said, normally I can see it. I don't know if this is because I'm videotaping or if it's the latest version, because I've never had that issue before, but then that's pretty typical with Adobe. Sometimes you have things crop up that have never happened before, and you go, well, where'd that come from? But that's a nice way of doing some quick and dirty animation where you control the path. Now, personally, especially today, with the being able to draw the pencil and seeing the path, I would probably stick with that. But, you know, this is actually, in reality, probably a little bit more powerful than the motion guide with the classic tween. But, you know, with some of the issues that I'm having today, I don't know if that's necessarily true. So this is an intro to, we did layer masks, we did a motion guide with a classic tween, and then we're doing motion tweening. And like I said, if I wanted to modify it, I can just double click right here. And then each time I want to change something, I literally have to come in here to like a keyframe, or I can add a keyframe. And what's nice about this is I can drag it right there, and that'll change the path. I can click right there and hit, oop, come on, let's drag it over here. Come on, frame 10. I guess that is frame 10. I'm going to hit F6, which adds another keyframe, and then I can change it in some form. And since, oh yeah, I've got rotation, skew, that's what I've done earlier, where I've changed the sizing of it. So it gives me all sorts of possibilities. So I can come in here and change my skew. And I don't know if you saw that, but he kind of rotated a little bit. He or she, I don't know what she is. And personally, I just like coming in here and going like that. See how it changes it? Like I said, I've had much better luck. Although, you know, I can understand there's instances where this would be much more powerful. It's just for me, quick and dirty, not so much. So that's the differences between the tweens, and have some fun with it and play with it and see if you have better luck than I do. Like I said, normally I don't have an issue with seeing those dotted lines, and I don't know. I did an update just the other day, and I don't know if that was the update that messed it up or not. So good luck, have some fun with Animate, and I look forward to seeing your homework.